to provide feedback and that focus in general on everyone's participation at tonight's meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Diego. And table topic, Master Cheyenne.
Hi, everyone. I'll be doing the table topics. And what this is an improv speech, 1 to 2 minutes based on a question you'll receive beforehand, and just gives you a moment to speak off the cuff and to get some practice and to simulate small talk that you may have every day with your boss, people you bump into. So that is all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Okay. Diego is education overview tonight. Diego, please.
Education overview is always an opportunity to spotlight important speech making techniques and helping members develop skills for easier development of prepared speeches. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Carrie. Thank
you, Diego. So let's start the first portion of this meeting, prepare speech. We have only one prepared speech tonight, who is Davey Roberts, Toastmasters in the pandemic. Manage change for the better. Sounds very interesting. And Davey.
Great. Okay, 1 second here. Let me get going. All right. Good evening. I'm on the dynamic leadership pathway, and this is the first module for level 4, managing change. My speech title is Toastmasters in a Pandemic. Manage change for the better. When something works for me, I just want to keep it that way forever. I want to be my 12-year-old self, playing video games with my best friend, riding my bicycle to school, living under the cocoon of my parents' love. I've been thinking, this pandemic has changed our lives. But wait, our lives are always changing. Whether external or internal, we must adapt and even thrive in change. Change can bring opportunity, growth, and greater happiness. Change is what life is. Without it, the beautiful butterfly would never leave its cocoon. Does anybody remember Blockbuster Video? In its heyday, Blockbuster Video had 9,000 stores. You couldn't throw a rock without hitting a Blockbuster Video store and probably breaking one of their big pane glass windows. But they couldn't change. Early on, they had an opportunity to buy Netflix. But they said, no, we want to focus on our brick and mortar stores because that's where the money is. People want to come in and hopefully find a video to watch, and then they want to drive home, and then they want to forget to return it and bring it later and have to pay late fees. That's what people want to do. Blockbuster failed because, like an ostrich with his head buried in the sand, it refused to see that the world around it was changing. Now, Toastmasters needs to change. We need to make these Zoom meetings work as well as the brick and mortar in-person meetings. I picked the word of the day, acculturation, because it means to assimilate to a different culture while retaining some of the original. And that's what that's what Toastmasters needs to do. We need to retain the core of Toastmasters, but bring it into the digital age and have fun while doing it. I think Luke had a great idea last week with the virtual background contest. There's all kinds of things we can come up with. The technology is getting better and better. And we will meet again in person, but let's get good at Zooming or other digital ideas. Our online mannerisms is things we can work on, our online personalities, our technical skills. These are all great things that we can do right now in this environment that we wouldn't have had opportunity to do in person in a meeting. There's other things, there's software programs such as EasySpeak, which is great for, when we were meeting at Carpe Diem, we had a little book that we put around where we signed up for the meetings. Now you can go on EasySpeak and request a meeting and see what meetings are available any time of the day or night. You don't have to go find that book at the next meeting. So it's really advantages to this. Another platform is Facebook, our Facebook group. We need to get it more active because that's a great recruiting tool and also a good communication tool we could use to communicate different things going on. Toastmasters International website itself also has many helpful resources. Their online magazine has currently several articles about working in this pandemic environment. I don't have all the answers. I may not have any of the answers. But I want to encourage our members to voice their opinions, their ideas, and their desires, because this is your Toastmasters, and whatever environment we have it in, we need it to work as best it can for you and for all of us. Let's look at this as an opportunity instead of a compromise. Let's be the next Netflix and not the next Blockbuster. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, David. It's really appropriate topic because the pandemic and time to change. We have to change. And acculturation is a perfect term to describe your speech tonight. And I have a great skill of acculturation. That's my life. From Japan to US. And I believe I transfer value, culture, belief. But still I have a Japanese original value and culture, language. And the changing is not really something bad. Changing sometimes beautiful. We have a both. How much we change acculturation, not 100% because that sounds really scary, but we have to take a step toward a change. I really enjoy your speech. Thank you so much. And this is the only prepared speech tonight. So let's move on to the next portion of this meeting, which is table topic. And tonight, table topic master is Cheyenne.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. All right, so I have a few questions, and we're going to do more of a lighthearted, kind of funny questions because I think we're all stressed, so we can just have a good time answering some silly questions. So could I take a first volunteer, and then you'll get your question? Oh, I see Olivia unmuted.
Oh, go ahead. I'll take it.
Okay. So, read us a letter you might write home while you're staying at circus training camp.
Dear family, I am enjoying myself here. The Bengal tigers are my favorite. These elephants smell like beep, but I'm enjoying them as well. Now, there is a lady here that is like 36 inches tall, and that's her. She's full grown. She's 32 years old. So it's kind of odd to look at her, but she really has a great personality. I am missing home. I can't wait to get back there. And oh, by the way, that story that they tell you when they want you to pay for the two-headed snake, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's not real. Don't pay for it. Okay, see you when I get back. Love you all. Bye.
I would like to get that letter. Thank you, Olivia. Can I get another
You're
one?
welcome.
Diego, you look like you want to do a table topic. You've been quiet over there on the left-hand side of my screen.
Sure, I can do one.
All right.
Thank you for picking me.
You're welcome. Okay. You are a piece of paper. Describe how you should be used before you get recycled.
My fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, as a piece of paper, I would not ask to serve as a piece of advertising supporting acculturation, but rather I would prefer to serve as an opportunity to advertise local recycling spots for electronics or for the old cathode ray TVs or also GoPro equipment, because I've tried to return I've been looking for a way to return GoPro equipment, but apparently there aren't any recycling centers for that. So as a piece of paper, I would like to serve a greater cause of letting people know these are the spots where you can drop off electronic waste, where you can drop off cathode ray TVs, or where you can drop off GoPro equipment. To reiterate, I do not want to serve as an advertisement for acculturation. I want to serve as a information booth for recycling electronic waste as a piece of paper. Thank you, Cheyenne, for the great question.
Awesome, thank you. Donovan, would you like to do one? I have a good one for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, without telling us the name of it, we're gonna try to guess. Explain the rules to your favorite game. It can be a board game, listed board game, favorite board game, card game, and then we'll try to see if we can figure out what it is.
Let me think. Okay. Geez, that's a really hard question. Oh, thank you. So one of the games I enjoy is well, you know that you always at train at a train station, there's trains. So let's say that the train, there's different trains, and it's sort of play as marshmallows. So each marshmallow has numbers on it, and there's a way of connecting them by that certain number. So as I explain this, so the main goal of the game is to get rid of all the marshmallows. And there's other ways of doing it as well. You can also divide. So if you're out of dominoes, you can if you're out of the marshmallows, scratch that. Then you get more. So until the other person is out. So until at the end of the game, you tally up the points. And that is my game.
Thank you, Donovan. At the end, we will see if anyone knows what that game is. I love marshmallows, so they probably would not last through the game with me. I would just eat them. Okay, so we have time for one more, either Carrie or David.
You want to go, Carrie?
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. You are an ant. Try to convince an anteater not to eat you.
Ant is bug ant.
Mhm.
First, I have two ideas to convince the anteater not to eat me. First is advertise how poisonous the ants are. It tastes bad, not just the taste bad, but also poison in me. If you eat it, you will die. So don't eat for yourself. Second idea is probably try to increase myself more and more and more. And number is always power. So if anybody who tried to eat me or eat ants and saw a lot of millions of ants will be simply scared, and then run away. That's the strategy. And then I got one more thing. Just simply die out. Maybe that's the best solution. Thank you so much. Interesting question.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm gonna let David do one since we only have one evaluation, and I want to hear this one coming from the engineering perspective.
I want to hear Kyler do one.
we can get him next. I saved this one for David, but he didn't volunteer, so you still get to do it. Okay, David.
Okay.
Using your best engineering practices, explain 4 uses for a drinking glass other than holding liquid.
Well, that's an interesting question. 4 uses for a drinking glass other than holding liquid. A drinking glass can be used for many purposes. Like lots of items, it's not limited to what it was primarily designed for. I have used a drinking glass before by putting it to my ear and putting it up against a wall, and I can hear conversations in the other room. And I should not do that, but I have done that before. Another use of the drinking glass is besides holding liquids, it could also hold gases. Perhaps a gas that's heavier than air could retain itself into the drinking glass. So that's 2 things a drinking glass could be used for. In addition to that, drinking glasses can be used as paperweights. And so I could use it to hold paper down. Also, a drinking glass can hold paper or pencils. People often put pencils into a drinking glass as a mechanism for holding them, something they were never designed for, but people find a way. People are innovative, and it's like the topic I gave on managing change. No matter what something's designed for, you can change its design to something else. So that's close to 4. That's all I got. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. All right, and just as we have a little extra time, I'll let Kyler answer one in all time for you. Okay. Would you rather live a life of fame and wealth or live in Harry Potter's world?
Oh, man.
Fame and wealth. Ready? Go.
I think this is an easy question for me, because if I could live in the Harry Potter world, I could easily get fame and wealth. I would be so interested in I would become like a master magician. I would spend so much time learning every single spell there is in the book. I was joking with a friend about this recently. We were talking about a different series that's kind of similar, called Full Metal Alchemist. Instead of magic, it's alchemy. And I was just saying, like, if something like magic or alchemy exists, I would be good at it, because I spent so much time studying it, there'd be so many uses for it. And there would be so many different utilities. And it was boring because most of the time, like, you'd be studying something and you get bored, but it's like, if you're learning how to turn lead into gold, that's not boring. It's pretty awesome. So all that to say, I would definitely much rather live in the world of Harry Potter than be famous or fortune. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
All right, awesome. So we all got to answer a question, and it was kind of fun, and I enjoy hearing all the creative answers. I think those are more fun sometimes than like, describe your best vacation, because they kind of, questions that are kind of odd, even though they're awkward, they get you to think more. So I enjoyed that. So thank you guys for participating, and I'm going to hand it back over to our Toastmaster, Carrie. Thank you.
Cheyenne, thank you so much. And Kyler, it was so much fun to listen to and looking at you. It looks so much fun to talk about it. Makes me really happy and I like it. Thank you so much. And then we'll move on to the last portion of this meeting, which is evaluation. And tonight, general evaluator is Diego.
Hello, honored Toastmasters. Tonight, I'm serving both as the general evaluator and the evaluator for Kyler's speech. So first, I want to remark on a few highlights and about David's prepared speech, and then we'll go over the timer, the odd counter, and the other meeting rules for tonight. Tonight, I could really see that David is really taking to heart his inherent weakness of vocal variety, because tonight he did a good job of doing vocal variety at the very beginning of the speech and then very poignantly at the end of the speech where he said, let's be the next Netflix and not the next Blockbuster. You could see he is really using, now he's using different vocal volumes to emphasize the points on top of all the other skills that he's using to emphasize spoken points. Another good area of mastery that I see in his speech is that he is always using gestures throughout the speech, like when he was mentioning that Blockbuster is like an ostrich with their head in the sand and they're not acknowledging the change of the world. And he looked around trying to help us visualize Blockbuster being that ostrich that is unsure of what's going on around it. Again, a really good use of his body language and gestures. I think one area of improvement and an area of challenge that I want to share with him is now I could clearly see him using vocal variety at the beginning of the speech and at the end of the speech. Now the next challenge is putting it in the middle of the speech. Now it's all about not losing that vocal variety, that habit that you established at the beginning of the speech, but now incorporated it throughout the entire duration of the speech, and make sure you wrap up well with as great mastery as you did with tonight's speech of vocal variety at the end of the prepared speech. Those are the major remarks that I wanted to share about David's speech. Overall, another great example of good speech techniques, not only using his spoken word, but also using his body language and his other nonverbal pieces of speechcraft. Thank you, and now we will begin with the overall meeting rules for tonight. Let's first hear Donovan's odd counter report, please. Donovan, you're muted. There we go.
Sorry about that. So I have counted Olivia as 1, Kyori 3, myself 2, Kylo is 6, Diego has 7, and David has 5. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Donovan, for the report. Let's hear David's grammarian report next.
Hi, everybody. The grammarian report, I'll start with the word of the day, acculturation. I used it once because I already knew what it was and I had it in my speech, so that was kind of cheating, but I used it once. I heard Diego used it once and Carrie used it once. And did I miss anyone? That's the three that I remember.
Actually, Diego said the same word twice. He reiterated what he was saying, so I counted him as twice.
Twice. So twice for Diego.
Yep, that's what I have.
Gotcha. Thank you. And as far as improper use of the English language, I don't really look at that too closely, but nothing stood out that is noteworthy that I would want to comment on. So I think everyone did a good job with the use of English language. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Evaluator.
Thank you, David. Let us hear Kyler's timer report, please.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. This evening, I'll give you the timer report. So starting with David's speech, he had 5 minutes and 16 seconds. And then moving on to the table topics portion of the evening, Olivia's table topic was 44 seconds. Diego's table topic was 1 minute and 23 seconds. Donovan's table topic was 1 minute and 44 seconds. Harry's table topic was 1 minute and 8 seconds. Olivia, let's see, who else I have? And then David's table topic was 1 minute and 39 seconds. My table topic was 1 minute and 6 seconds. And then for the for the evaluation of David's speech, Diego had 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's it for tonight.
Am I unmuted? Okay, great. Thank you, Kyler, for the timers report. So we have gone over the counter, the grammarian, the timer. Yes, those are the three major roles. And I will relinquish the camera spotlight back to Carrie, our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Diego. We have an education overview tonight. Diego is make a good education overview. Diego.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carrie. And thank you all for your attention tonight on this education overview that I want to share with everyone. Can everyone see the PowerPoint slide?
Yes.
Excellent. So Toastmasters, I really, not only are we focused on, before I get started, let me get my timer so that way I don't go over, I don't speak about this for 30 minutes because I could speak about this for 2 hours. I could do a keynote speech on this period. Okay. My fellow Toastmasters, not only are we engaged in a war against COVID-19, but every day we turn on a computer monitor, every day we go on the internet, every day we look at our mobile phones, we are engaged in a war for our attention, be it Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. I want everyone to reflect lately, today on their work period. Was there a moment, do they feel with confidence that they could have done their work today, their obligations, without using the internet? I'm seeing Donovan shaking their head no. David saying no. For myself, I feel it's also the same case. I can't work without having access to the internet. And I bring this up because the internet has become a very important tool for us in the 21st century. But like with any new tool that we develop, we need to make sure that we are in control of the tool and the tool is not controlling us. The internet has become a very great hub spot for all sorts of information and knowledge and understanding, but it can also be a great source of procrastination. And I wanted to share a few topics and thinking points about this important topic and help us overcome this important issue that I believe the workforce is putting up with today. So one of the great sources that I used in developing this slide was from a blogger who talks about procrastination and how he talks about procrastination being a procrastinator himself. And it's a very great TED Talk, very great blog post. I encourage you all to read it. I will post the sources in the chat below, and I will ask that on the YouTube channel that the sources be provided later. But he does a great job of opening the speech by highlighting what does a non-procrastinator's brain look like. You can see here it's a very level-headed person, a rational decision maker who is in charge of the responsibilities that lie ahead. And then he brings up, this is what a procrastinator's brain looks like. And you can see there's an instant gratification voice in our heads that we're in constant battle with on a daily basis when we go on the internet. And he goes at lengths explaining how, with great intention, we're going to get a lot of work done today, but before you know it, the monkey has taken control of the steering wheel, and before you know it, we're going down a beautiful rabbit hole of looking up who's Tom Cruise's spouse, when is the next Independence Day movie coming out, what is the recent Netflix shows that are going to be streaming in August. All these types of unnecessary information can really eat up the rest of our day. And like the picture shows, there comes a point where you're just too far down the hole and there's no way you can get any work done for the rest of the day. And what we find ourselves in is what he calls the dark playground, which is this space where we're playing video games, we're watching YouTube videos, but in the deep recesses of our brains, we know we have that lab report that's due. We know we have that work report that we need to turn in. We know we have that piece of calculus homework that we need to finish. And it's this macabre area of guilty pleasures that we get entrapped and ensnared in. And really what we find ourselves is that the only thing that can get the monkey to let go of the steering wheel is the panic monster. Here, the panic monster has scared away the monkey, and finally, 5 hours before the report is due, we finally get control of the steering wheel, and we can finally get to work on writing that Toastmasters speech that we were assigned to do on the following Monday. I'm sure this is a frequent image that many of us have inadvertently found ourselves in. And it begs the question, why do we need to change this habit that we can easily fall ourselves into? Probably the most poignant point is it's really unpleasant. We feel that we've become spectators of our own lives, that we're frequently in the dark playground, we're enjoying things, we're watching TV shows that we want, we're catching up on the latest drama, but really we're doing it from an area of anxiety, an area of fear, knowing that at 5 p.m. that report is due. So that's really an important thing to recognize, that maybe this is really an unpleasant lifestyle that we need to address for ourselves. And another important point is that really, yes, we get the work done, we get that engineering report done, we get that speech done, but all the other things that we want to do in our lives that we really were looking forward to, if it's spray painting the new Gundam model that we have, or if it's learning a new language, or if it's playing a new instrument, all these activities that we really wanted to do, we really don't get to do them because we fall victim to procrastination. So these are important things to recognize about the procrastination lifestyle, and maybe this type of procrastination lifestyle is something that we shouldn't continue to exercise. I've found great success in using website blockers like Stay Focused and Cold Turkey. And there's a self-control app on Mac that I'm not familiar with since I don't have a Mac. Maybe you guys who have Macs can look into it. But personally for me, using these website blockers have really helped me get more control of procrastination, because namely when you set a timer to not have access to Facebook, these things don't reverse that. For the next hour that you said, I'm not going to look, I can't have access to Facebook, the website blocker is going to keep it that way, and it won't unlock it until the hour is up. So really letting technology cause irreversible blockage of the internet, I find has been really successful. And I would encourage you all to look at using these tools to really help have better control over your responsibilities and really minimize the procrastination habit. These are the few sources that I will share in the follow-up Zoom chat and also on the YouTube channel, hopefully. But I really want to end with this really nice image of we can have a good symbiotic relationship with the procrastination monkey, because really procrastination and stopping procrastination isn't about stopping having fun. It's about saving the fun times at the end of the day when you can say with confidence, I finished writing that Toastmaster speech. I'm ready to deliver it tomorrow. I finished turning in that engineering report. I finished turning in that calculus report. I finished writing up that philosophy paper. You can say that with confidence, and you can enjoy your evenings watching Netflix or playing video games or things like that without any guilt whatsoever. This is my education overview, and I hope some message of it will help you in your speech craft and developing your next prepared speech. Thank you for your attention, and back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Diego. I thought you were talking about me, always procrastination. That was the filing tax this year. Even we have an extension. I started 10 days before the deadline, before the July 15, which is deadline. And my CPA asked the IRS for extension because I turned on all the documents very late. Procrastination. Thank you so much. And I'll check the website, definitely stay focused. And something else, thank you. I'll definitely check that. That's all for tonight. And back to tonight, we don't have a Luke, so we go back to Davey.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for being Toastmaster this evening. And we do have an award this evening for Diego has completed level 5 of his pathway. So could we have a big round of applause for Diego? And here is his certificate. And if Diego would like to say a few words, that would be great.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for providing this public speaking exercise and forum. I and other prepared speakers cannot develop and get good feedback without an audience. And a big thank you to all the evaluators who have shared their time and expertise in evaluating all my previous speeches. This is really a two-way relationship. A public speaker is nothing without their audience and people who are willing to listen and share important advice on how to make the next speech greater. Thank you, and I will relinquish the lectern back to David, our acting president.
Thank you, Diego. And I would like to mention too, the educational overview was as if you were at my house watching me prepare my speech. For some reason, Facebook and YouTube kept getting in the way. And the panic monkey really did jump in this afternoon. It's like, you've got to finish this. And I did somehow. And I loved at the very end, though, when you talked about how to do it properly. And at the end, you can hug your panic monkey or your monkey, and you can watch TV together or watch Facebook and YouTube. So that was really good. It's something, even at my age, we all could use, or most of us could use help with procrastination. That was a really good educational overview. Thank you.
And I posted the links in the group chat, and when David uploads the YouTube channel, I'll ask him to share the links in the description too.
Great, thank you. And we'll have Diego back one more time next week, so we can all say our last goodbye next week. And hopefully he'll visit us from time to time as a guest as well. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this evening. It's 7:43, so we're doing well on time. I would just like to ask if you can, to go to Easy Speak and sign up, sometime before the next meetings for the different roles. Once we'll have suggestions for the different roles. And if you can log on, by, as Luke said before, by 7:40 or earlier, would be great, so we can get the meetings going in a timely manner. But I really do appreciate everyone being here, and I know we all have commitments. We're trying to get home from work and things, so it's all fine. When you can get here, it's great. And I really, truly appreciate you all. It's a small group, but I think we're doing very well adapting to this new format. And like I said, we will meet again in person at some point in the future, or have hybrid meetings. Not right now. Things are looking kind of not really great right now, but I think this is the future, and we're cutting edge here. We're going to do well. So I'd like, does anybody before we close have anything else? Any other club business or anything they'd like to share?
I just want to share one thing. David, I remember when you started, and you just would not know that you've been with the club for as long as you have. I think you are doing an awesome job. You and Carrie have just come in and I'm just amazed. I look at you two as mentors and someone to look up to. And Diego, I know I missed the last couple of meetings, so you're leaving us for like ever, or what's the deal?
Yes, I have found 2 Toastmasters groups up in Indiana that I'm planning on joining one of the groups, but I'll still come in and visit you guys, every now and then as a guest, definitely. But yes, I'm switching to a different group that is going to be closer locally to me for the next 5 years, for the grad school program that I would be a part of.
Wow, that's sad, but I'm excited for you. So congratulations as you embark upon your next endeavor. So God bless you, and hope to hear from you. I have your email, so I'll be bugging you.
Good, yes. I love to be bugged. But you don't bug me, Olivia.
Yeah. And thanks for all your help and your tips and your motivation too. So it's just a joy to have you. Has anyone heard from Lawrence?
Lawrence was at the last meeting.
What? And I missed him?
Mm-hmm.
Is he in town?
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
we didn't really speak about what he's. I don't remember. Well, go ahead, David.
He's in one of the Dakotas. He said he's taken up residence in one of the Dakotas.
Okay. Cool. And glad to see you too, Donovan. We've missed you.
Thank you. Miss y'all too.
Yep. Okay. All right, guys. That's it for me. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye, Olivia. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Really good to see everybody, and I really appreciate your kind words, Olivia. And y'all have a great time, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ending meeting now.